Welcome back to Class Evolution. Today, we're going to be covering the Wizard. Now, the Wizard started off in 2nd edition. Very, very, very weak. D4 hit die and 1 spell per day. That's what the thing said. And honestly, the spells for 2nd edition were not all that powerful at level 1. Despite I even homebrewed it that a Wizard could re-memorize a spell after an encounter took 10 minutes because 1 spell per day. That's ridiculous. You're barely capable of fighting. So I thought the first level wizards were weak. Now later in the level they got ridiculous. Their spells were not balanced. They're just like let's kill everything with the single spell. So they really had a true progression of apprentice all the way up to Archmage. And you could really see it game statistic wise. But at the same time, your chances for surviving early levels were really, really dependent on your party not having bad luck. Because a goblin could, shoot a bow at you and drop you instantly. So, and technically by 2nd edition rules, you die at 0 hit points. So a goblin could hit you for they deal 1 through 6 with a javelin. Could throw a javelin at you and kill you. So they were a bit too squishy for me. However, their complete wizard, amazing book, very, very well done. So they balanced out if you were playing later or if you could somehow survive your early levels, you got a lot of power, which really represented, how a wizard should be. If you survive your early stages, you're going to get a lot of power. But they progressively got better. On a side note, there is a chart in one of the books, I can never remember and I wish I could, but there was a chart in the book that actually you could roll on to figure out what type of spell book you had, if it was scrolls or tomes or anything like that. It was really, really cool. I just can't remember it. So if any of y'all can remember, feel free to comment and tell me. But then we move on into 3rd edition and 3.5 and Pathfinder. The Wizard it got better. Hit die was the same, but they got a broader base for weapons, and they also saw an increase in spells per day. Very small, but they were still there. And also bonus spells were based on their intelligence now. Unlike in 2nd edition, where the only people who get bonus spells based on a high score was clerics or priest with a high wisdom. Now, the wizard could get it on intelligence, and they also had more innately. So this really, really gave the wizard more survivability. Their spells got a little bit more balanced, but only by a little bit. So, still, late game, ridiculous. I was a big fan of the 3.5 Wizard. I thought it did a lot of things very, very well. And their Prestige classes were actually pretty cool. Like from the Complete Arcane, really, really cool, but very stereotypical. They weren't anything different than previous editions had done. So I really liked it. Complete Arcane, very well done book, lots of new spells. That was one of the things I really did like, was just the sheer amount of spells that were released for 3.5 books. Just tons. I have the spells for wizards. Wizards range from about this from my hand this way. So that's not really a ton of spells. Yeah, I think that actually covers every spell in the game. So I wouldn't think that the 2nd edition had a lot of spells, which I really liked when 3.5 came out, and they were just like, alright, spells everywhere that covers every type of topic. So I liked it. Then there's 4e. The wizards in 4e focus primarily on AoE spells, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But, now they have more survivability, and you can easily see the progression, blah, 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 blah. But, my problem with the 4e wizard is that I have problem, they're done well. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the wizards are very very well done for 4E. I enjoy my play in my long running game that's been running for 2 years now. I have a wizard in that group, and he's survived this entire time. So I don't really have a problem with the 4E wizards. They got a lot of really cool spells, and they're survivable. That's for damn sure. A problem that I do have is some of their spells are really close range. Like one called Thunderwave is a blast 3. That's really close for a wizard. I mean, I know Burning Hands was a 15-foot cone, but I mean, it's kind of dangerous even using Burning Hands in some situations. So they're pretty cool. Complete arcane, what's it called? Arcane powers. For the wizard, actually did a lot of really cool things. It brought in like the summoning aspect again, because core 4E didn't have a lot of summoning, because that adds a lot of new elements that didn't necessarily have to be there at first. So they brought in a lot of summoning. I think it's really cool. And the Epic Destinies for the Arcane Power book is really, really cool. It introduces these new concepts like an Archlich, which is not necessarily an evil lich. It's essentially someone who makes a pact and becomes immortal, but not at the cost of their morality. So, which I like. I think it makes sense. I mean, if you try and find immortality through lichdom, that doesn't necessarily make you evil. I mean, if you have good intentions. So it's a really cool story aspect, in my opinion. I like it. I mean, they still have liches that are evil. I mean, the Archlich and a lich are different. They're very, very different. But I personally enjoyed it. Now, to compare them all, if I don't really know which one I'd like better, 3-5 or 4Es, because they both have the strong suits. 4E has this idea that a wizard always has spells. Which, I mean, if you're thinking olden time, Merlin, all that kind of stuff, wizards don't tend to run out of spells. So, I mean, you get that concept where, you're always able to start shooting spells off at a moment's notice, which I like. I like that a lot. I think that's a cool concept. But in the other hand, wizards don't have as many spells as they can cast. Like 3-5 wizards are just like, I have all these spells I can shoot off. I mean, I run out though. But I mean, in one hand, you get this concept of wizards who never run out of spells, which I think fits that entire mentality, and ultimately is more fun to play with, because you still do have to balance how to cast, when to cast, what to cast. But the other hand, you lose that old wizard way where you had a bajillion spells to cast every day that you knew. So it's a hard one. Now, because I mean, wizards still can have more spells than other classes or powers, because I'm going to use term powers, but they have more than others, but it's still not necessarily the same. So it's kind of a, if I had to decide if I was going to play one, I would probably, if I was going to pick and play one, I would probably pick 4Es if I was going to play one, because wizards in earlier editions were too damn squishy for my liking. I don't play squishies. I play heavy armored clerics all the time. But honestly, from a perspective as a DM, I can't really decide. So give me your thoughts and tell me. And that's it. Yeah. So until next time, have a good one.